Yo, YouTube, what's up? Radar 25 back here. My co-host, Michael Quintamania.
What up, Mox?
Guys, Friday Night Smackdown. We got 3 takeaways for you. More action going on with the Tribal Chief and his bitch ass cousin Jay Uso.
Damn, I say
Now,
that bitch ass cousin for.
because that's the way it seems that Roman Reigns sees him as. No Jimmy in the show, but we do have more issues with Jay Uso and Roman Reigns. We have interesting developments in the Alexa Bliss Fiend relationship. More confirmation that this is where they're headed. The infatuation continues. We got Sasha Banks coming out and some interesting setup for next week between her and Bayley. We have a lot more to get into in the show. A lot to get into for Friday Night Smackdown. We got 3 takeaways, but before we do it, I'm you guys drop a like on this video and previous videos. Hit the subscribe button. If you're watching, you're gonna subscribe to the channel, notification bell, also right next to the subscribe button, so you guys are notified when new videos drop. Share this video, comment on this video, check out the Instagram, the Twitter, the Twitch for the live streams. Appreciate any support I can get on the Twitch. And without further ado, guys, jump right into it. 3 takeaways from Friday Night Smackdown. And Friday Night Smackdown started off with takeaway number 1 of the night, and that is the big dog, the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, coming out along with Paul Heyman in tow. Paul Heyman gets to cut a promo, and I like this from a heel Roman Reigns. He just kind of puts his hand out like this and stops Heyman, and Heyman just hands the mic over to Roman, and he begins his side of the promo. Basically, he's just talking about all he wanted was Jay Uso to call him the Tribal Chief, the head of the family, that it's his birthright and that's what he deserves. And like that, Jimmy said it, but Jay didn't. So Jay came out, he called Jay out. Jay comes out, and he tells him, that's his birthright. That's, he's busted his ass to have that title, and that's him, that he just wants him to acknowledge him. The entire time Jay Uso is just staring at the Universal Championship. Reigns picks this up and says, you keep staring at it. Is this what you want? Is this all you want? You want another match? Let's have it. Hell in the Cell. And then he says Hell in the Cell will be the match with the biggest stakes ever in WWE history. So God knows what that's going to entail. The biggest stakes ever in WWE history. Reigns hugs Jay, tells him he loves him. Jay's kind of like in shock the whole time. Reigns is leaving, and then Jay picks up the mic and says, whatever the stakes are, it's on. He don't care the stakes. So I'm interested to see what these stakes are going to be. I think they're gonna have 2 Hell in the Cell matches. They always do for Hell in the Cell. So I think it's gonna be the men is gonna be Jay and Roman in Hell in the Cell, and then I think the women is probably gonna be Sasha and Bayley. So
Would make sense.
Yeah, it makes most sense there. But I want to see what that entails. The biggest stakes in WWE history. I don't know what they could possibly do. I don't know. I honestly do not know what that even means or where they're going to go with this, but I'm interested to see where it goes.
Yeah, I did enjoy the start of the promo. I like the fact that Paul Heyman started the promo kind of with the Brock Lesnar vibes, where he's just going to talk for his client. But unlike Brock, Roman can actually talk on the mic, so he just cut that out. Let people what needs to be done. I thought it was great to see the this continuation of the story. I thought it was gonna be just a 1 month thing, but it ended so good that you can't really you want to see more. It left you wanting more. So it just one of those natural things where it's happening. It's just flowing really good. Good little segment there with the promo there with Jay and Roman talk the back and forth or whatever. My one thing is, what is it gonna be like? Is the stipulation or what is it? What's it gonna be? What exactly is the biggest stipulation ever? The biggest, what could it possibly be? Are you gonna get kicked out of the family? Am I taking your kids, or what's going on? How can it be the biggest one ever? Just that's where
the stuff WWE's done in the past, and they really got to go over the top.
Yeah, they really got to go over the top. So they're kind of setting themselves up for failure here, because how big it can it possibly be? Or again, if we're expecting something huge, it's probably just going to be something, okay, I guess, more than anything, because when you say stuff like that, you're going to set yourself up for failure no matter what with some people. That's my only thing with that. You probably didn't have to say all that, but it kind of already felt important just the way it was. So again, still excited to see where this all goes. I love the storyline, how it's naturally progressing the way it is. I really thought coming in, like I said earlier, it was going to be a one-off, and then Roman goes into a feud with either the Fiend or somebody bigger. But it's just kudos to everybody involved. They're doing a great job, and they're making me want to see more and more and more. So I'm excited.
Yeah, interesting as to why Jimmy wasn't here, and if Jimmy's gonna come, you know, be on the subsequent Smackdowns from here on out, being that he was here at Clash of Champions. I mean, they bring him back for a reason, right? He has to just kind of keep showing up because it's his brother and his cousin, that whole issue with the family. But we'll see what happens. That's takeaway number one. Interested to see where what they say the stakes of this match are going to be, because that's probably the most interesting part about it, just because WWE's going to pick themselves into a corner by saying it's the biggest stakes of all time in WWE history. So we'll see how they handle that. Next thing on the show, Jay Uso still's in the ring. AJ Styles comes out, and there's a match between AJ and Jay Uso. Very, very, very solid, good match. Obviously, AJ Styles in the ring. He never had a bad match in his life, so we all knew that was going to happen. But interesting, AJ Styles loses this match to Jay Uso clean. He hits the big splash off the top, Jay Uso, and that's the end of the match. Interesting how they would use. I mean, I guess you want to keep Jay as like a somewhat of a threat to Roman, so you haven't beat a big guy in AJ. But I'm just interested to see what they do with AJ after this. Like, what happens to AJ?
It was a bit of a job out by AJ, and while they're doing it is to make Jay look strong and look viable. Of course, that's why they're doing it. Was AJ the right guy to use? I don't know if he was the right guy to use. I guess maybe it is, because the fact that it's AJ, you know, if he loses, it's still, come on, it's AJ Styles, and we know who this is. Doesn't matter. He had an off night. You could play it as that. So maybe that was smart. But it also adds Jay, elevates him. So, I mean, maybe it is a little like perplexing of why they chose AJ, but when you think about it thoroughly, it's like, it makes a lot of sense.
It makes a lot of sense, but I just hope they don't squander AJ after this, and he doesn't really do much.
He's AJ Styles. He's like the second biggest guy on SmackDown. Come on, let's be serious.
I kind of want to see. I think I kind of want to see what they do with AJ going after this. But we'll see what happens with the draft and everything happening next Friday. Who moves where? I think AJ stays in place, unless since Paul Heyman is on SmackDown and moving back to Raw. We'll see. We'll see what happens with that. But okay, next thing on the show is John Morrison versus Otis. Yeah, this whole storyline, I'm not a huge fan of. I think they got to get rid of it. Get the contract for Otis. Otis is not really doing it anymore. He's not that much fun anymore. It's just like, I don't know. After the whole Mandy thing, it's just been kind of a disaster. Otis gets the win here. But yeah, nothing much going on here. We'll see what happens to the legal issues for the Money in the Bank contract with Miz and Otis. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of any of this. They'll probably have a tag team match at Hell in a Cell, and that's pretty much it. Why Miz and Tucker weren't there, I don't know, because they were part of the whole thing. So we'll see what happens. Next, another match: Sheamus versus Shorty G. Now, Shorty G's one of those guys, like, he was going on a heel run. They stopped it, then they started to back up a little bit because he was in the King's Bounty with Corbin and Matt Riddle. I don't know. It makes no sense to me now. So they still have the feud between Sheamus and Big E. They had a couple brawls in the past weeks. When dropping guys on top of cars and stuff like that. So squash. Sheamus gets the win. Shorty G, I don't know what they're doing with him. I don't know. They have no plan whatsoever. And then obviously Sheamus, Big E will probably face each other at Hell in a Cell. So it is what it is. Next thing on the show, takeaway number 2, the KO show. So with the brand's invitational thing they have, they can go for like once a quarter. They can go from brand to brand. I don't know. It's a whole convoluted thing. But we have the draft coming up next week, so we'll see if KO comes to SmackDown. Now, KO show, the special guest is Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss comes out, and this is takeaway number 2, because Alexa Bliss goes full obsessed Harley Quinn mode with the Fiend, because Kevin Owens brings it up to her, and she says that he's everywhere. The way he makes her feel, and all, very like,
makes me feel numb.
Yeah, it makes her feel numb, and all that stuff like that. So it's they're playing definitely into the whole Harley Quinn Joker feel, the vibe. She just seems obsessed with him, in love with him, and all that, which is tremendous, awesome. So I thought it was a great job by Alexa Bliss playing that role. And everything, and then KO says, I know he's here, right? And then he says, he's always here, he's everywhere, and all that. KO gets up, the lights flicker, the red lights come on. Here comes the Fiend. He's in the ring, puts the mandible claw on KO, and then afterwards, he stares. Well, Alexa Bliss is smiling the whole time. The Fiend stares at Alexa Bliss. She stands up. Fiend puts his hand out, the same hand that was just in the mouth of Kevin Owens, and she holds his hand and smiles at the camera. Yeah, awesome stuff. I like the route they took with this. Slow, teasing it, and then now they finally are in the same ring together. They make contact, and she, it started with she hears the word "the Fiend," she snaps. Then it was the music, she snapped, and now she's all in and obsessed with the Fiend. So I'm really interested to see where this goes from here. Next week it will be Fiend versus KO, so we'll see more, probably Alexa Bliss and the Fiend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, love the whole thing. Like you said, it's been a slow burn ever since the swamp fight match where she was the hologram Sister Abigail. Like, it's been that slow burn progression that we want to see. We love the fact that it's got the comic book feel with Harley Quinn and Joker vibes. It's totally, that's where they're getting their storyline from. Love it. I think she did a great job of looking like a psycho. I like the ending where it's just like, I got my bride or whatever girl, whatever the hell they're going to do. But yeah, they can, I mean, I don't know. Does she get a mask? What's her transformation going to be like? Is she going to have these powers? Maybe she goes from Alexa Bliss to Sister Abigail, kind of like the way Bray goes to the Fiend. It could be a bunch of different scenarios that can be thrown out there, but I enjoyed it. I loved it. I don't know if I need to see him versus KO. It feels kind of random and just kind of out of the blue, not really the Fiend style, but whatever. Okay, so let's go with KO. I guess they just need a star. Maybe you could do it with AJ, but he's a heel, so I don't know. Whatever. But I did love the segment. I can't wait to see where this all goes and how she becomes Sister Abigail on her full transformation.
Yeah, we'll see if they go the full Sister Abigail and she becomes
I
Sister
think they
Abigail.
should. Like I want to have a mask. I kind of want her to be, or maybe not like exact max to his, maybe something similar, kind of play off, maybe some face paint. I don't know. It's just something where she looks the part of a psycho, like because the Fiend's so crazy looking, she has to look.
Yeah, she can't just look the way she looks now, and he looks all like that.
Just with her hair and like a braid or just big hair. Like, it needs to be just a little more. And I would also like the fact that we can do Alexa, normally, or like somewhat normal, and then go into her Fiend mode. I think that'd be interesting.
We'll see if she plays into any Firefly Funhouse stuff going into the future. That'd be kind of interesting. Her and regular Bray doing that together, and they kind of snap together. Maybe we'll see. There's a lot of ways they can go with it. Like, they can go the whole Harley Quinn Joker style. They can go just more out of the, go out of the box a little bit more, have her wear a mask or have her do something like that, and she can have the split personality thing as well. We'll see what happens, but there's a lot they could do with it. I'm excited to see how they go forward with this. And then with Alexa Bliss, do they have her do this and then still have matches in the women's division? That'd be kind of interesting to see if they do that like that. Where she's just a dominant, like Fiend was at the beginning, like super dominant. Yeah, it would be pretty interesting.
I say why not? I mean, I think after the whole Bayley Sasha feud is done, there's not gonna be much to do on the women's division. I think she could run the women's division.
The only thing is that her stature, she's so small in stature, so it may be kind of odd, but how they work it. But yeah,
she's like a 5-time women's champion on both Raw and SmackDown. I mean, it's fine. Yeah. She's good in the ring, and she's one of the best promos in the women's division.
Yeah,
I think she'll be fine.
Yeah, a lot of stuff they could do. I'm really interested to see how they go. It's probably this and Roman Reigns, the two most interesting things on SmackDown. Makes it SmackDown so much more interesting than Raw because there's so many. You're wondering how they're going to take these storylines and what directions they're going to go. So super excited for all this stuff going forward.
And it's 2 hours besides 3 hours.
And it's 2 hours. Yeah, it helps a lot too. All right, guys, that's takeaway number 2. The next thing on the show, another random match: Corbin, Nakamura, Cesaro versus Riddle, Dorado, Metalik.
All of a sudden they're a team now. I understand.
Yeah, and then you had Matt Riddle with the braids. He comes out. All right, so it's a 6-man tag. It's whatever. Riddle hits the Bo Derek on Cesaro, and they get the win there. And then there's like a lot of pushing and shoving between Dorado and Kalisto after the match. Just break them up already. I mean,
no one cares, man.
And then you throw Riddle in the middle of this, and then it's just like, I don't know. It doesn't make no sense. Like, it's pointless. Like, who cares?
This is like the epitome of WWE, just like having too many guys on a roster, and I don't know what the hell to do with them. And they're just like, all right, these random dudes that have been scuffling for the last month. Let's just put them in a group. It's just let's have them. Yeah, I mean, no, the match isn't like bad. It's still all right match. It has some fun moments, but it's just like it's random as all hell. It's just so random.
Like, get the thing over with already, and then like let's get Matt Riddle going into something more important. Yeah. Like, he's just there. He needs to be in something more important than what he's doing right now.
In the IC picture. I mean, I don't need to see Jeff and Sami. Why not Bro and Sami? I don't know. Just whatever. Just.
But that happened. All right, let's get to the next takeaway. Takeaway number 3 was Sasha Banks coming out with a neck brace on and calling out Bayley. She would take the neck brace off in her promo and all that. We all knew this was coming. She attacked Bayley at Clash of Champions with the chair. So the match is coming. We all know it's coming. But the takeaway about this is that it's gonna happen next week on SmackDown. It's advertised Sasha versus Bayley next week on SmackDown. I do not understand. They got to have some weird schmozzy thing they're going to do, because why have it on SmackDown next week? You've been building this for like almost a year, or, you know, whatever, 8, 6, 7, 8, 9 months. Have them, the match, first match at Hell in a Cell, in a Hell in a Cell. It's the only thing I can think of, because like if you're gonna have matches in between from now and Hell in the Cell, I think it hurts the feud going forward, just because it's so personal and they were friends and all that. I mean, you know, normally Hell in the Cells are like the end of the feud, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Normally that's what that is. But the fact that they've been teammates for such a long time, they were like, they both had 2 belts, they've helped each other, but now they attacked each other, they turned on each other. I think it's just save it. Have them go into Hell in the Cell. Either you have the blow off of Hell in the Cell, just a one shot, one match thing, or you have the Hell in the Cell and then you have subsequent matches afterwards that change it up a little bit. You could have a Hell in the Cell, then you could do like a Extreme Rules match, or you could do a ladder for the women's championship. I think that would probably be the best thing to have it at the end, is a ladder match. But yeah, I don't understand. They're probably gonna have some schmozzy finish going on with that later on. And next week we'll see what happens with that. But I think they should just save this the Hell in the Cell.
Yeah, this I feel like this is just more of WWE SmackDown being on Fox and needing to have a certain amount of, you know, just the ratings need to be up no matter what, because you have this huge contract with Fox. I think this is more just getting people to, we've been feuding, these are big stars, they're gonna have a main event match on SmackDown. I need to go watch that. I think that's more of that, to get eyeballs on the product, and just because there's no way this is gonna be a full-on match. Either Bayley's gonna come out and fake something, or fake an injury from her attack or whatever, something like that, because we didn't even see Bayley. So I just don't I don't know. There's no way this is a match. There's just no way this is a full-on match. This is a pay-per-view match. They've been booking this thing. It's been literally like, I don't know, 8 months, almost a year of them just working together. You know, it's just like, come on. There's no way this is just going to go on SmackDown and going to be the end of it. It's just going to be some tomfoolery, ridiculousness that's going to happen. That's not going to have the match. This is a Hell in a Cell match. This is what they've been working to. This is why you have a Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, is to have a huge match or a meaningful match in a Hell in a Cell that means something, and they've been booking this for months. So this all has to culminate in the end of one of these girls getting destroyed in a Hell in a Cell match, and that's basically what that needs to be done. Next week we're going to see what they do, but it's going to be some stupid, you know, just smosh thingy that they're going to pull out of their butt that they haven't even probably written yet. Yeah,
this is like having Roman and Jay Uso face on SmackDown rather than on pay-per-view.
It's just dumb. And then this is even worse because, I mean, again, their family, that storyline's been going on forever, but the fact that they've been feuding with each other for just a couple of weeks, you know, that will make more sense to have a main event on SmackDown than Bayley and Sasha, their first time going against each other on a SmackDown. Just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I know. It makes no sense. But yeah, guys, that's takeaway number 3. The next thing on the show was Sami Zayn versus Jeff Hardy for the IC title. Fine match. You had, you know, the turnbuckle be Sami Zayn exposing the turnbuckle. Jeff will go for the swanton. Sami puts the knees up. Then eventually Jeff goes up for Whisper in the Wind. Sami takes the legs out from underneath him. He lands on the turnbuckle on the face, and then he pins him. Sami Zayn still your IC champion. Solid match. We'll see if that feud continues, if AJ gets back into the feud. We'll see what happens, but we'll see how long the run for Sami Zayn with the IC title will be. He threw the second IC title in the trash, so he's going to rock with just the one for now. As he should. Makes no sense for him to have 2 of the same belt. But yeah, guys, that was SmackDown. Those are our 3 takeaways. Appreciate you guys for watching the video. Remember to like this video, share this video, comment on this video, and you know, if it doesn't work for you, not do the job.
Later, Marks.